In today's episode, we're going to be reading some terrifying Reddit stories, and I hope you guys are excited. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe if you want to. We've got pandas in the background today joining us for the episode. I made them a cute little bamboo enclosure, and I feel like they're pretty happy. Okay, let's get into it. Enjoy, guys. Am I the a-hole for not making him food after his work wife kept making him food? Me, female 27, and my husband, male 34, have been married for 3 years, but we were dating 4 years prior. He recently got a promotion in his company and moved to a different department. In this department, he recently started interacting with female 24. I dislike her, and I have from the start. Every time I'm there, she makes sure to call him her work husband, or she'll do simple things as making him food or giving him extra tight hugs. But my breaking point was last week when he'd come home with the food that I made him. When I asked him why his lunch bag was still full of what I made him in the morning, he said that female 24 had made him food and he didn't want to seem rude and waste it, so I ignored it until he threw away the food that I made him. I woke up at 6 a.m. just to make him his favourite food, but ever since this has been happening every day, it started to get annoying until today I decided to not make him lunch. He came downstairs in the morning to me making breakfast and asked me where was his lunch. I said I didn't make him one because it was going to go to waste anyway. He started arguing that I was being petty over a little thing. Oh, how dare you, dude. But I tried to discuss how I felt and he went over it. So am I the a-hole for not making him food? God, this stuff blows my mind. So let me get this straight. He didn't eat the food that you made him every day and he threw it out because his work wife was making his food and he didn't want to be rude. Hey bro, are you realizing how rude you're being to your own partner? God, some people are so annoying. Yeah, this comment, who's hugging on their co-worker in front of their significant other or at all in the first place? I think you need to sit down and have a real frank conversation with your husband, because if the shoe was on the other foot, he would not like you doing any of this. Yeah, 1,000,000%. Is he blind? Imagine if you had a work husband that you hugged really tight and he made you food all the time that you ate while also not eating the food that your partner made for you. Oh, I'm pretty sure your husband wouldn't think it was a little petty thing. Something tells me he might actually be very upset if you did that. I don't want to be dramatic, but I feel like if I were in your shoes, OP, this would already be enough for me to not like this guy. Like, yeah, you can tell him not to talk to her, you can tell him not to hug her, you can tell him not to do whatever he's doing, but you shouldn't have to ask. He shouldn't be this disrespectful in the first place. And obviously his work colleague wants to be with him, and what, he's going along with it because he doesn't want to be rude? Oh my god, yeah, keep doing that, dude, and you'll lose your partner. The top comment says, not the a-hole, the food isn't the issue here, clearly. There are so many Reddit stories that started with the work wife providing OP's ex-husband with food. There was even one where the work wife told the pregnant wife that the husband liked her cooking better, so she'd better watch out or she'd be taking her husband. That wife ended up having to co-parent with her ex-husband and the work wife that he ended up married to. I think in plain words, you need to tell your husband that you don't want him interacting with her at all unless it's required for business and only as minimal as necessary. Her behavior from consistently cooking for him to calling him her work husband and giving him tight hugs are extremely inappropriate. He should not be more worried about hurting a co-worker's feelings than disrespecting his marriage. He didn't want to hurt her feelings by not eating her food, but he's got no issue with throwing his own wife's food away in front of you. His co-worker's behavior is a direct threat to his marriage, and it's his responsibility to set and enforce the boundaries to protect the marriage. Yeah, 1,000,000%. I don't know if I could really forget about this, OP. Like, your husband shouldn't need a reminder to not do this. He shouldn't do it. From the beginning, he shouldn't be this disrespectful to you. Like, why should you have to remind him when you could actually be with somebody who respects you? Yeah, I don't know. The comment under that one says, your husband's an idiot. He's absorbing the attention from a young female co-worker and snubbing his wife. You're a rarity in today's world. My wife has prepared my lunches for the past 26 years. Not out of duty or coercion, but out of love. I'd be damned if I would worry about another person's feelings, let alone a female at the sacrifice of my wife. It's not about the food. It's a labor of love. I hope for both of your sakes that he gets his head out of his ass before it's too late. Yeah, same. The comment below that says, it isn't just about the food. It's about the work wife and her hugging him and her making him lunch and bringing it for him from her home. She's trying to seduce him and he's allowing it. Yeah, she 100% is. OP does have an update here. A small update on my last post. Me and him are going to talk when he gets back home, but I did talk to him a little bit before he went in the shower. He just got mad when I asked if I could see his text between her, which ended in him getting defensive and saying that if I trusted him, I wouldn't need to. I may bring up the option of divorce, but I need to figure out the financial situation first. I have a job, but it barely even pays. but until then I'm gonna start packing up my stuff little by little. I'm talking to a divorce attorney and figuring out where to go from there, but I won't until me and him have the talk. But thank you to everybody who's let me open up on this a little bit. Oh, that's so sad. Of course he's hiding something, OP. Like the top comment says, well, if he has nothing to hide, he'd let you see his phone. My wife has full access to my phone even though she never looks through it because she trusts me, and I've given her no reason not to. Do you know who my work wife is? My wife. Yeah, damn right. Yeah, you deserve better than this guy, OP. Like, straight up. The next one's an update post. The first story that we read yesterday was called, Am I the a-hole for telling my fiance there will be no wedding if she keeps on insisting that I invite my parents? That post where OP's partner was completely disrespecting their boundaries. There's an update here. Updates, my fiance trying to invite my parents against my wishes. I'm very overwhelmed by the response. So many thoughtful responses. Thank you to everybody who took the time to respond. I thought I'd give an update. My fiance normally gets home around 5:30 p.m, so after I was done working, I work from home. I waited for her to show up. I got very worried when it was 6 and she still wasn't home, but around 6:15 she shows up with my sister, which was a big surprise. While my sister and I connect every Thursday, we live 45 minutes away from each other, so her popping by is not normal. Both of them were very anxious, so I was confused. I asked them what was going on, and my sister just burst into tears and saying that she's sorry. After like 5 minutes of her losing her crap, she starts talking about the family. So apparently when she told my mum and dad that I got engaged, it started a rift between them. Not because they cared about me, but about my half-brother, who's 27, still living at home single without a steady job. If you're thinking, wow, they kicked you out at 19 and let him stay there past when he could rent a car, don't worry, I said it out loud. My mum apparently wants to do the same to my half-brother, but Dale won't let her, so they're currently separated, with my mum living with family and refusing to come back until my half-brother is out of the house. For some reason, that defies all logic and reason. My sister thinks getting an invite to my wedding will bring the family together, since it was my engagement that caused the rift. At this, I blew up a bit. I told her that my engagement had nothing to do with it, but their crappy parenting and poor relationship skills caused it, and don't put that crap on me. She cried even harder, and this time I was not going to console her. My fiance's just sitting there the whole time, so while my sister is trying to get herself together, I question my fiance about it. She also tears up a bit and tells me my sister was telling her about how I always bring up the family on a Thursday, and that deep down I wanted to repair the relationship. I asked how she could believe that when I was super clear that I was no contact with my family and I had never mentioned wanting to be in contact. I told her that I tell her everything and I'd never hold back something like this without talking to her. She's always been my sounding board. When I switched my job last year, we talked about it every single night, and her advice mattered more than anybody else. She apologized and then wanted to show me her phone, specifically the messages between her and my sister. At this point, my sister perks up and asks her not to show the phone conversation, but my fiance tells her that she's trying to save her relationship. My sister's been straight up lying about our Thursday conversations, saying how I was always talking about reconciling, how I would never admit it but I'm partially at fault too, how I really want to see them all again. Every time I would tell my fiance no, she would text my sister and my sister would talk about how I just couldn't be open because I was embarrassed. Right, okay, it's all making more sense now. Just completely false. I'd be perfectly happy never seeing any of them again. I can't believe my sister still sees them. At this, I tell my half-sister to leave and that Thursdays are cancelled. My sister puts up a little bit of a fight, but I ignore it until she leaves. She keeps on saying sorry over and over again, but I'm done with her. I have blocked her and I'll be no contact with her for the time being. A complete betrayal of my feelings and relationships. As for my fiance and I am still very upset. She went behind my back with my sister, never asked me about it, let my sister manipulate her and hurt me. I told her I love her, but my trust is broken. We have agreed to go to couples therapy and see if we can repair the relationship. I hope we can, but I'd say it's a toss-up for me. She has a lot of work to do. Wow, that's not an update that I expected to read, but yeah, that makes so much sense. Oh, I'm so sorry, OP. The top comment says, oh, sister. She's nuts thinking a wedding will fix anything. And lying to your fiance? Why didn't she ask you about this especially? Honey, I talked with your sister and I'm confused about this. Can we talk deeper? The end. Postpone the wedding because I bet somehow somebody will gossip more to your mother and Dale. I wouldn't answer the door or unknown numbers. The comment under that says, why didn't she ask you about this? Honey, I talked with your sister and I'm confused about this. Can we talk deeper? The end. This is where the trust is broken. OP's wife trusts the sister more than she trusts her fiance and believes the sister over what OP is telling her. That's some effed up stuff. Yeah, definitely. All the best with the couples counseling, OP. Hopefully things get better. The next one's on entitled people. $20 a day is too much for dog sitting now. So I'm dog sitting for an acquaintance for 6 days, currently on day 3, staying at her house because the dog is high anxiety. And since I sort of know her, I said it was $20 a day. Seems cheap, right? Apparently not. She texted me this afternoon to ask if I could Venmo her $80 from what she gave me because she decided that I'm overcharging. What the hell? hell? Obviously, I said no, and she starts complaining that she's letting me stay in her house to do this, and I should really just be grateful that I don't have to commute so much. Her house is nicer than mine. Blah, blah, blah. But I brought my own food. This place doesn't have AC. Mine doesn't either. And she's also having me water all of her plants inside and out. She says that I'm being ungrateful and that she won't hire me again. Oh well. Good luck finding a cheaper sitter then, Biatch. Edit, she's not my friend. She's a friend of a coworker that I've met a couple of times. I'm wondering if I bring it up to my coworker or not, because I don't want to cause tension at work. So I'll just see if their friend ends up talking crap about me with screenshots handy. Oh, the nerve of some people. So she was asking you to Venmo her $80 from what she gave you, which is what, 4 out of the 6 days? As in she only wants to pay you $40 for 6 days of dog sitting? The audacity. And then to say, oh, my house is nicer than yours. You should be grateful. You should take a hike. What are you talking about? Yeah, like you said, OP, good luck finding another dog sitter for cheaper. Your prices were already way too cheap, OP. $20 a day? Oh, no, that's unreasonable. Give me $80 back. No. Oh, the audacity. Yeah, the top comment, your dog, house, and plant sitting. You should be charging more. And this comment too, she's wrong. I just paid $60 for somebody to stay with my dog. She was only going to charge me $30 a day, but I said, no, that isn't enough. And I gave her $60. Yeah, where does this person get off? And then the audacity to be like, oh, you should be grateful because my house is nicer. It's an honor to work for me, an absolute privilege. No, it isn't. And the fact that they have this attitude is so bad. Oh, I'm sorry that you had to deal with them, OP. They sound so frustrating, and I'm not even dealing with them. Just hearing about this is bad enough. I can't believe she wanted you to give the money back. Nah, please send it back to me. They're gonna get such a rude shock if they do try to find a different dog sitter. Like, oh, what do you mean you don't want to work for free? Because it's an absolute honor to be in my presence and in my home. Delusional is what that is. The next one's called, am I the gay hoe for kicking my sister out of my wedding because she didn't follow the color scheme? When I, 25 female, was 9, my parents adopted my sister Jen, who was 7 at the time. Jen was thin and fearful due to being neglected. We did everything to make her feel loved. We bought her lots of toys. Everything Jen wanted, she got. When my parents asked me to move to a smaller bedroom so Jen could have my room, I was happy to. When they asked if I'd let Jen pick the decorations and cake for my upcoming birthday, I agreed. I was so happy to have a sister, and I understood why my parents gave her special treatment. Only the treatment didn't stop. For years, every trip that we went on, we had to do what Jen wanted to do. We had to eat where she wanted to eat, and she got to plan all of my birthday parties. If she didn't get what she wanted, she'd throw a tantrum. I still felt loved and cared for by my parents. They drove me to practices and bought me stuff, cooked meals for me, and spent quality time and gave advice. But I was always second to Jen. As I got older, I did anything I could to leave the house. I got my first job when I was 12. I vacationed with my friends instead of my family. I played 3 different sports and I did band. I took my driver's test the day that I turned 16 and I bought a car the day after. I went to college on the other side of the country. Now that I make good money, I do things I missed as a child. I take fancy vacations and I throw elaborate parties as I please. My wedding was no exception. My fiance Kip and I wanted everything to be perfect. We thought it'd be fun to have a color scheme. My favorite color is yellow and his is blue. So my guest would wear yellow, his would wear blue, and mutual friends would wear green. I picked out a dress that had green embroidered details and he picked a boutonniere with green flowers. When Jen found out about this, she was mad. I didn't know this, but she hates yellow and it washes her out. She told me under no circumstances would she wear yellow. I shrugged and said that was fine. I'll just kick her out if she didn't wear yellow. There was no further discussion. But on my wedding day, Jen came in a purple dress. I told her to leave immediately. The color scheme was perfect and she ruined it. Jen refused to leave until I threatened to call security. The rest of the wedding went smooth, but afterwards my parents were furious with me for kicking Jen out. Oh my god, it's your wedding, not Jen's wedding. Sorry that Jen doesn't get to have her way for once. I told them that I warned her she'd be kicked out if she didn't follow the color scheme, but they said they all thought it was a joke. They said it was cruel of me to kick my sister out over something so trivial. Oh my god, get out of here. I told them that this was my wedding that I threw without their support, so I can kick out whoever I want to. Kip came rushing to defend me and even told my parents they should be ashamed of how they treated me. Hell yeah, Kip. But over the past few days, a lot of people I've talked to, grandparents and aunts and uncles and friends, have been mixed. Yeah, but that doesn't really matter, OP. Some say that they wouldn't have invited Jen if they were me, while others think I should let it slide. Am I the a-hole? No! And don't listen to the people saying that you should let it slide. This is your wedding. Jen does not get to control your wedding, OP. Even though she had control over your bloody birthdays forever, pretty sure she can suck it up for one day. Edit, I want to make a few things clear. I figured people would assume this, but I did not ask my guest to dress head to toe in their assigned color. I completely understand that people might not have yellow formal wear laying around. I said to dress in only neutral colors and or your assigned color, or someone could wear a black dress and yellow jewelry, a black suit and a yellow tie, but no colors outside of neutral or your assigned color. I invited Jen because she's family, and I honestly thought that she was more mature than this. I did not know she hated the color yellow when I chose the color scheme. Oh no, you're definitely not the a-hole, OP. The audacity of Jen and your parents. No, I feel like you did the right thing, OP. And also shout out to Kip for standing up for you too. Like, oh no, what do you mean I don't get to control somebody else's wedding? For my entire life, everything has been about me and what I wanted. What do you mean the wedding's not about me? Like, how entitled? And yeah, 100% like Kip said, your parents should be ashamed. The fact that they were still standing up for Jen and they were upset at you about this is so wild. Jen sucks and so do your parents, OP. The top comment says, not the a-hole. The question here isn't whether or not the color scheme is stupid. It very well could be, but it's also becoming the norm. And frankly, if you don't like it, you don't have to attend the event. But what you don't get to do is say that a color scheme is stupid, so I'll make up my own rules and force the couple being married to let me in. Jen was stupid here. OP, you did the right thing in kicking her out. Her feelings that she can dictate the rules of your wedding aren't any worse than you having those rules in place. In short, screw Jen. She got what she wanted in the end. Yeah, completely. And the comment under that too, to me, it's also very telling that Jen is apparently the only guest who had trouble with the color scheme. If everybody else was able to do it, it wasn't that bloody difficult. Yeah, that's such a good point. Oh no, the super entitled one is the one that has an issue. Big surprise. And also the color scheme didn't sound that bad. Like wearing a black suit and having a yellow tie, wearing a nice dress and then having like green jewelry or something, or green details. Like she wasn't saying you had to wear a completely yellow dress or something. And yeah, like that comment said, it sounds like everybody else didn't have an issue with it. Yeah, this comment too, your parents have enabled her behavior for years. Apparently Jen is so accustomed to getting exactly what she wants that she believes she can't possibly be wrong. OP warned her about the color scheme and what would happen if it was ignored. Better late than never. Jen has finally experienced that she'll be held accountable for her actions. Yeah, definitely. In no world are you the a-hole here, OP. There are some people in the comments saying you the a-hole because they assumed that it meant they had to buy like a yellow suit. But no, the color scheme doesn't sound very unreasonable after what OP said in the update. I thought that too when I first read it, like, oh, what, you have to get like a yellow dress or a yellow suit or something? That would be pretty wild. But no, it's not hard to have like a yellow tie or something. But yeah, like the top comment said, the question here isn't whether or not a color scheme is stupid. It very well could be. It's also becoming the norm, and frankly, if you don't like it, you don't have to attend the event. Yeah, there's a surprising amount of you the a-hole comments here about the color scheme. That's not really the point though. Like, yeah, maybe the color scheme thing is stupid. There are lots of people saying the people coming to your wedding aren't props and stuff like that, but I feel like that's kind of missing the point. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose I wasn't really thinking about the color scheme of the wedding. I was thinking about how entitled the sister sounded. Yeah, I like this comment. I'm not a fan of overly themed weddings with what to wear instructions, but on the other hand, I've heard of way worse. There are 80 billion shades of yellow and blue, so it's no big deal. And really, if anybody had a serious objection to it, they could just politely bow out of it. That said though, what your sister did was an obvious play at upstaging you, just like she always has. Not the a-hole because you were standing up for yourself, but if you actually try to continue and maintain a relationship with her, be super clear about your boundaries to her and your parents. She could continue to make waves, especially now that she knows that you'll stand up to her. The next one is called, am I the a-hole for not telling my wife that I had surgery 30 plus years ago? I-37 male was born with umbilical hernia, like a bulge or lump type of thing where the belly button is, and I got surgery on it when I was 4, so besides my immediate family and some preschool kids, who could be anywhere in the world right now, no one really knows about that. I was clearing out my end table. I found old baby pictures that I didn't even know that I had. My mum was a 90s Facebook mum when it came to pictures, and I put most of them into a pile. When my wife came to the room and saw them, her first question was, what the hell was that lump on my stomach? And I told her it was the umbilical hernia thing. Her follow-up question was how it went away, and I told her that I had surgery on it. Her mood changed, and she started asking a lot of why questions, like, why didn't you tell me that you had this? And my answers were, how would I bring that up? And my medical history is my business and my business only. She got pretty mad at that second one and ended the discussion there. Now over this stupid argument, she's been trying really hard to give me the cold shoulder. Am I the a-hole? This comment says, this is stupid because it doesn't affect anything, but I think that my medical info is my business was off base. There certainly could be medical history that's important to share with your spouse. That part was poorly said. Yeah, I feel like that's the issue. You probably didn't need to say that, OP. And also, maybe that's all the issue's even about. Because if it's really about not telling you about a surgery that you had when you were 4 that doesn't affect anything, that's a bit ridiculous. I feel like it's because of that comment that you said at the end there, OP. This comment says, my medical history is my business and my business only. She got pretty mad at that second one. I mean, she is your wife. I get that there's never been a reason to bring it up, but that second argument that you put forward makes it sound like there's more that you've not told her and don't want to tell her. This comment says everybody sucks. Totally normal for something not to come up, and weird that she did seem to interrogate you, but this part has no place in a marriage. My medical history is my business and my business only. She's the person who may have your kids and or be your caretaker during medical issues. Yeah, I feel like that's the only issue here. That comment that you made, OP. I was gonna say, it's a bit ridiculous for her to be so worried about something like that, but no, I'm pretty sure your wife's upset because you said that second part, OP. Okay, that's enough for today. Thank you for watching, guys. That was such a fun episode, and I hope you had a wonderful time today. I've got a cute cat wholesome meme to show you before we go. This is Nugget. For 10 years, whenever he gets anxious, he sits in bed and cries, pouring at blankets until I make a fort for him to crawl into, and suddenly everything's right in his little world. Oh, that's so beautiful, the cute little kitty cat. I'm anxious, I need my fort. That's so cute. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time today, and if you did, make sure you like and also subscribe. And the comment of the day today, goes to Invader Nav. Rejoice, the chickens have their shelter. Now they can enjoy the rain from a dry distance. Yeah, the chickens are a lot happier now. They're right behind the pandas too. Beautiful Minecraft world that we've got. Rejoice, the chickens are happy. The beautiful little chickens, couldn't have them getting all wet in the rain. That's so funny. Okay, I'm out of here. Thank you for the support, everybody. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!